The Banker's Secret. Written and narrated by Kenneth Eric Trent. Chapter 1. Let's begin by defining a key term. Doppelganger. Noun, an apparition or double of a living person. Mid-19th century, from German, literally double-goer. Oxford. In 2009, I had been a lawyer for about 5 years. Naive still, although less so than when I started. I was more successful than most GED graduates. I was doing pretty well out of the gate, but I was nowhere near famous. I could never have imagined that I was about to encounter a manufactured multitude of multifaceted financial facsimiles, aka doppelgangers. In the course of what was then a solo general civil litigation practice, I came to be hired by a simple county maintenance man to defend a foreclosure. The man's name was Ben Us Down. Not really. Our foundling allegiance ultimately grew into something I will never forget. It was a humble and innocent foray toward a dawn of comprehension of a next-gen scientifically engineered virus called MERS. Nope, this original MERS virus, Mortgage Electronic Registration Systems, Inc., did not come from the Middle East. My signing on to help Mr. Down was a rather inauspicious beginning to a revolution. It was also my very first foreclosure. In a foreclosure, of course, a bank is trying to take someone's home or, in legal speak, their real property and appurtenances. In Florida and many other judicial foreclosure states, the bank must file an ordinary civil lawsuit wherein it is the plaintiff, and the borrowers and whoever else has a legal interest in the property are named as defendants. Like most people in 2009, I didn't figure there were too many defenses available with which to defeat a foreclosure. On the surface of things, the bank, here City Mortgage, Inc., had brought suit, claiming that the Downs had failed to make all their payments. As a result, the bank claimed it had the right to foreclose, evict the homeowners, and sell the property at public auction to recover its investment. Upon non-payment, the bank is contractually entitled to do so, subject to certain minor conditions. My clients had stopped paying. That's, of course, the main point in a foreclosure. Where a borrower hasn't paid, for the most part, the rest is window dressing, or so I thought. The bank, if challenged, does have to prove it sent a written warning to the borrower at least 30 days prior to filing suit. That's about it. The bank's case consists of non-payment and a demand notice. Doesn't sound difficult, does it? Although initially not optimistic, I tried to do my job. One element that seemed to be missing was the relationship of the plaintiff to the loan. Along those lines, I noticed something odd. The bank, described as the lender in the loan documents, ABN Ramrod, Inc., I believe it was not the plaintiff named in the court papers. That was City Mortgage, Inc. I call them shitty. There must be some explanation, I imagine, but I wanted to hear it. Grasping as I thought I was at straws, but intending to make the bank check the boxes, I sent its lawyer a request for production of documents, formally demanding whatever paperwork gave Shitty the right to collect on a promissory note payable to ABN Ramrod. I asked for the transfer documentation, which usually takes the form of an assignment of mortgage. Enter the now infamous law offices of David J. Stern. As you may have guessed, said law firm was the attorney of record for Shitty. At the time, I didn't know Stern from the proverbial hole in the wall. After sending my routine request, I heard from the Stern firm, well, crickets. Formal follow-up was followed by more of the same, a redundancy of silence. I went to court a couple of times to see the judge and obtained orders that the evidence be provided. Despite the orders, Shitty continued to dally. I don't trust him, Mr. Trent, said my client, Mr. Down. Meanwhile, still thinking our legal defense prospects rather doubtful, I repeatedly instructed my client to post his mortgage payments to my trust account so that when the time came, we could hopefully negotiate a reinstatement of his loan. I anticipated this would cost money up front, given the fact that by this time, my client had not made a mortgage payment in about 15 months. He complied, although not to the extent I would have wished, and the months flew by without any real activity in the case. In December of 2009, it was time for mediation. That, strictly speaking, is where the two sides meet in a room with their attorneys and a neutral person whose job is to encourage the sides to reach a settlement. This mediation was like a walk through the twilight zone in the shadow of a nameless beast, while being guided by a submissive substitute librarian. I was not sure what to expect going in, although I mentally prepared myself to be obsequious. To put it bluntly, I was ready to kiss some ass.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?